no toque do som me liberto de vez. O amor é o fogo que me refaz outra vez. Sou terra, sou lua, sou mar. Nada pode me quebrar. A cura está em mim, no meu corpo, no meu jardim. A cura está em mim. Sou o tempo, começo e fim. A cura está em mim, no meu corpo, no meu jardim. A cura está em mim. Sou o tempo, começo e fim.
Chill. Yo. Welcome to Club Shada episode. Let me handle the volume here. All right, we're good. I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody is in. Let me make sure this looks at my eyes. Yeah. Don't hesitate to put some likes, put the flags of where you're watching from. Welcome to Club Shada episode 420. It's been a while. It's been like a month and maybe 2 months. I'm concentrated on Internet du Village, the French show, but I have to come back now and go back to, talking about the things that we talk about, which is the giving some love to the Shada gang. I hope everybody's good. Tonight we're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. We're live on where else? Facebook. On my Facebook page, Kaysha. And we are live on Twitch. It's not that I want to keep Club Shada out of TikTok, but I feel like the crowd in TikTok is more into entertainment, and sometimes it's good, sometimes depending on the subject, it's good also to sometimes like limit, especially if some subject that I want to talk about on Club Shada, I might also want to talk about them on TikTok, but in French. So to me, it would feel sometimes like I'm doing a double, talking 2 times about the same thing. So yeah, Shawty Shaz, what up, my man? I hope you're good. And listen, sometimes, first of all, this show is brought to you by ShadaWare.com, the gods of good fortune. Big up to all the sponsors. Big up to our stream royalty, Daniel Chim, main sponsor of this month. If you want to become the main sponsor, all you have to do is do a super chat of more than 11.60 and you become automatically the new sponsor, unless she just adds an extra 5 and she just stays the stream royalty. Well, if you want to support the show, that's how you could do. I did something new that I would love to talk to you about, but I have to do, I don't know. Thing is, I forgot to create the page, so I have to do it. Let me see. How can I do this? Let me write it for now. I'll add it as a scene because I didn't do that scene on Club Shada yet. So let me see. Profile, edit, scene, duplicate the current scene. Exactly. Let me see. I'm gonna call it WhatsApp because I'm gonna use it. And here I'm gonna remove my overlay. Oops. All right. And I'm gonna replace this here, exactly what I want to do, with, don't mind me, whatsapp.kaysha.com. All right. I'm gonna put this, where can I put this? I'm gonna put, why is it not letting me? Oh, all right. Put this here. Perfect. Yeah, it's in the center and I'm gonna have it flying from downstairs. How do I do this? Border, perspective, transition. Flying from the bottom. Perfect. All right. We're good. All right. Now, all right. Now let me explain. See? Boom. And there it is. So I received an email from Spotify Portugal telling me, hey, you can now follow us on WhatsApp. And I was like, on WhatsApp? Interesting. And to me, I was like, follow on WhatsApp, that's interesting. What do they do there? So in reality, what they're doing on WhatsApp is more, it's like a group, a WhatsApp group, but only you and the different admins can use it to post your information. And a lot of people always ask me whenever I go live, especially when I'm live on TikTok, a lot of people tell me, oh, when do you release new music? We never know. Why did you quit music? Whatever. And the real issue is that those people don't even know that I release music. And my problem with WhatsApp groups is people see your number, right? And so when I followed the Spotify Portugal WhatsApp group, I was like, yo, that's interesting. I don't see no numbers. I don't even know who is the group admin. That's interesting. I would love to be able to have a place which is not Instagram, which is not YouTube, because YouTube, you don't really have direct message. They removed that a long time ago. I would love to have a place where people can receive news in like a group, but where my phone doesn't show up. And the only place where you can do this that I know is Telegram, but I don't use Telegram. I mean, I have it. I have Telegram, I have WeChat, I have a bunch of apps. But me, what I use is WhatsApp. So I really was thinking, let me see if I can create that. So I went to the WhatsApp webpage. They have a website. I went there and I went to see information about WhatsApp channels. And that's when I realized, oh, that's exactly what I need. A place where I can give information about new singles, new posts on Kaysha.com. So I have Kaysha.com where you can subscribe as news, but WhatsApp is even better. And on my WhatsApp group, in my WhatsApp page, it's a channel. On my WhatsApp channel, only me can post. And the other people the only thing that the people can do is react with a like. Who followed me? Let me see. I have a notification from my WhatsApp channel. So could either one of you started following me? Somebody reacted to my latest post. Let me see. Do I have new followers? And the good thing is I can see the number of people that are following me, but I cannot see the numbers. I can only see the numbers of the people that I know. I can only see my people. And if I don't have your number, I don't see your number either. I just know that you're part of my group. So for now, it has 25 followers. And from these 25 followers, I can only see 10 contacts. Everybody else, when I post something, they will just receive a notification, just as if it was a group. But they can only, put a like, put a heart, put any emoji, and that's it. And I believe this is a great way, actually, from the WhatsApp people to be even better than a Facebook page. Because in my circle and in Africa and in Europe, everybody uses WhatsApp. This is like, listen, if you have my number and you want to talk to me, if you use like iMessage, you send me an SMS or an iMessage, I will not see it because I don't look at those apps. I only look at my IG DMs, but I look at them maybe every 3-4 days. And WhatsApp is the one that I look all the time. And me, I follow a few channels. I follow Spotify Portugal, Spotify US, and one Portuguese news channel. And that's it for now. But I find it very interesting that now WhatsApp, which is more a communication thing between people, is now also having this explore page where you can also follow people that are not your contacts. And like, for example, you can follow CNN, for example, or whoever. Listen, celebrities, XYZ, podcasts, whatever. And I believe this is a perfect direct contact to people to tell them whenever I have a new single, whenever I have a new video, or whenever I have a new clip of something on YouTube, or even when I go live. So listen, I like it. I like it. And so Wednesday, when I do Internet du Village, and we'll be on TikTok, that's when I will do massive, not massive, but whenever somebody tell me, hey, where can we know more about you? I'll send them this link that I created, which is whatsapp.kaysha.com, which takes you to an invite page where you can be part of my WhatsApp group. And when you're on my WhatsApp group, you receive news about me. And things that I think are newsworthy compared, according to, my followers. I find it very interesting. So very interesting. I like it. All right. With this said, what it on, Dauda? How you been? Thank you so much. The best show on YouTube is too much, but thank you. All right. Listen, I have 2 or 3 subjects that I want to talk about. Let me look at my notes. All right. Listen, I have 3 things that I want to talk about. I'm going to try to go. Listen, Club Shada is under 1 hour. So let's see if we can, let's see how fast we can go. And listen, while you're here, what happened with my mic? Hey. It feels like it's my headphones. Sorry. I stepped on the cable. Sorry. As I was saying, as you are here viewing, don't forget to put some likes, and don't forget to put the flags of where you're watching from, so I know who I'm talking to. All right. All right. Let me talk about the first thing. Listen, you have no idea. Before I start, you have no idea how it feels peaceful when you don't have like the craziness of the TikTok chat. I like the TikTok chat. I like when it's like when we're having fun. Just Internet du village. We're just here, we're talking, we spend 2 hours together. When I want to talk about business and stuff, it's a balance, because at the same time you like the idea of having the maximum amount of people watching you, but at the same time, if you want to keep concentrated, TikTok is not the best place. So it doesn't mean that you cannot comment, so don't be shy. All right, now let me talk about Spotify fan study. We do this every year. So whenever we have a fan study from Spotify, we look at it just to see what we can learn in our music business, all of us. So they just sent me the email. What did I do? There you go. All right. So, of course, I have to resize this window because we are not on TikTok. So let me do this quick. Screen share. There you go. There you go. I don't even need to. Listen, I have to. No, it's fine. It's fine. Let me move those things in different places so I can maximize the screen real estate since I'm on YouTube. Waderlis. Yes. Mercredi. But listen, we're going to talk about it in English today. On en parle en anglais aujourd'hui, mais mercredi, on va en parler aussi en français. Ça sera un peu différent mercredi, parce que justement, ce sera le bordel de TikTok. Mais, listen. Let me stay concentrated. All right. I think we're going to put it like this. I like it like this. Listen, this doc, just stay around. We're going to talk about that. All right. Nice. All right. This is a study from Spotify for Artists. And so fans make it possible, and we have the data. I never know in English if you say data or data. Because these people, they change pronunciation all the time. Hey, me, I say data. So if I've been wrong all these years, maybe if one day I learn, I'll just change. Anyway, fans make it possible, and we have the data to prove it. Welcome to Fan Study, an ongoing exploration into fandom on Spotify. Across each category, we'll analyze millions of data points and uncover insight to help you develop the fan base you need to reach your goal. You know what I find interesting is something that I've been finding very interesting in these few years. It's that when it comes to give me a second. Yeah. Better. All right. When it comes to the streaming business, I'm realizing that a lot of people are lost. And you know what they lost is because of understanding the market and what you have to do in the marketplace. They keep thinking and listening to their dreams. And it's something that I've been realizing every time I have a little bit of consulting with artists, and they explain to me what they want to do, how they want to do, how they're going to do it, etc. I realize that most artists are trying to arrive in the music business and to succeed in the music business using strategies for 2010. But in 2025, all this doesn't work at all, because the world has nothing to do with how it was back in 2025. It's a completely different world with completely different rules and completely different platforms. I plan to do a show where I will explain to artists like how you make money as an artist in 2025, 2026 even. Because a lot of people, they believe that to make money, you have to do the things that you used to do back then. Some people are still acting as if they're going to sell CDs when the stores where you buy CDs don't exist anymore. What you have to do is take your time and read what the platform is telling you. This is the place where, I don't know, 60-70% of the streaming is made. And if they explain to you how it works, maybe you should stop thinking of how you want it to work and go more like, all right, that's how it works. Let's go. Let's use the platform the way it's intended, and let's see if we can have success in it. And let's even see if we can be creative in strategies and make it even work better. Anyway, all right. New releases, Spotify playlist, fan connection, merch, and live global trends. All right, listen, let's read. Let's check this. Let's check this, and let's see if we can check everything. Explore new releases. All right, new releases. Think of your next release as a launchpad. It's your moment to re-engage loyal fans, reach new ones, and re-engage listeners with your full catalog. Make release week count and set your music up to break through from day one. All right, the first thing you need to understand when on Friday, which is the day when you release music, on Fridays, there's 150,000 new songs. That's the first thing you need to understand. It's just like on Instagram. Back in the days, you would post and people would follow you because you were famous, and then your post would matter. Now, when you post, the people who should be your clientele, they post as well, because they also take photos of their food, of their friends, and everybody is a content creator. From the famous ones to the not famous one, everybody is competing for the same space, which is time, a time of attention. There's 24 hours in the day, and everybody's competing for a little spot in your 24 hours. Listen to my song, watch my post, watch my TikTok video, etc., etc. And that's the way. That's the market you're trying to reach now. When back in my days, what you were trying to do was to make people go leave their house and buy a CD. Today has nothing to do. All right. 1, releasing new music can give fans a reason to dive deeper into your catalog. On average, streams of past release jump 15 to 20% when new music drops. Interesting. So me, I release every week. So every week, it pumps a little bit of my whole catalog, which is interesting. So prepare your next release for success by taking full advantage of Spotify for Artists' new release tools. Yeah, I do this all the time. Oh, then it takes you to other places. Countdown, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not going to go deeper than that. You can go check the fan study yourself. All right. Number 2, when it comes to driving pre-saves, the right preparation is key. On average, artists who publish a countdown page at least 7 days before an album release nearly double their pre-save. That's true. That's not all. Those who release a single ahead of their album with a countdown page see twice as many pre-sales for the album as those who don't. Oh, interesting. How does it work? Because you can do a countdown only when you have an album. I didn't know you could do for a single. I have to check that out. 3, traffic to your profile spikes on release day. Of course. Yeah. Okay. Artist profile gets 77% more visit when music drops. But that's not all. Other Spotify services get a boost too. All right. Cool. When fans save your release, they listen significantly more. Yeah, of course. All right. Releasing new music can supercharge your fan base. Some of your listeners are diehard fans in the making. After releasing new music, on average, artists saw the number of super listeners, the most loyal segment of their total audience, jump more than 18%. Which is why I release every week, because then I'm always stimulating the algorithm. That's something I've been telling you for years now. Release week is the starting point, not the finish line. That's true. First week matters, but it's not everything. Most streams happen later, not on day one. In fact, 70% of a release first year streams come after the first month. All right. Let's go to Spotify playlists. Programming on Spotify, all playlists and listening session based on editorial and personalized recommendation, blend human curation with machine learning and deep artist fan connection. Dig in how these playlists spark discovery and fuel fandom. Spotify playlists are where your new fans find you. Yes. You could just be one playlist away from reaching your next biggest fan. I reach it. In fact, more than half of new artist discovery on Spotify happen in program playlists. The issue is getting there, with over a quarter coming from Spotify mixes, radio, and autoplay. Editorial playlists can ignite monthly active audience growth. All right, Piano Groove. I've been in this one before. New Music Friday, I'm there all the time. I'm on New Music Friday Portugal a lot. Interesting. You don't have to be a playlist powerhouse to see significant audience growth. Artists added to editorial playlists for the first time ever in 2023 saw big spikes in their monthly active listeners after a 30-day period. That's why you have to do pitching. Spotify playlists can carry your music across borders. That's true. Tens of millions of new artist discovery happen on Fresh Finds. In 2025, Fresh Finds drove over 65 million new artist discoveries. In fact, over 70% of all streams via Fresh Finds playlists represented listeners streaming an artist for the very first time on Spotify. The issue is with more and more and more and more music coming in those platforms, it becomes harder and harder and harder to be in these playlists. That's the issue. And now that people are releasing AI music, it's even worse. But I understand what they say. Fan connection. Your music sparks the connection, but it's the world you build around it that keeps the fan coming back. From visual to storytelling, learn how listeners go deep with their favorite artists on Spotify and how that leads to bigger and more loyal fans. Super listeners aren't just for Superstar. True. I think 10% of my listeners are super listeners. Super listeners, I think it's the people who listen to your music like every day. Like in 7 days, they will listen to your music at least one time every day. Super listeners are the most loyal segment of your monthly active listeners. Average across all artist sizes, they make up just 2% of an artist's monthly listeners, but they drive over 18% of monthly streams. Okay, that's what I meant. Canvas drive more saves and playlist ads. Interesting. I should do more Canvas. Adding new visuals to your track give fans new reason to share. What you mean new visual? Updating a track's visual can ignite new fan engagement. On average, refreshing a Canva boost of platform shares by more than 10% and impact even is stronger in certain genres. Interesting. Fans who playlist your music keep coming back for more. After listeners add you to a personal playlist, on average, they stream 41% more and look at your profile 12% more. In fact, 60% of all merch purchased from Spotify profile come from listeners who have playlisted the artist. Interesting. All right, let's go to global trends. Fans are constantly reshaping how music travel, fueling trends around the world, bringing new artists into the spotlight, and building communities across borders. Explore or tapping into these shifts can open new doors for music. International collabs can take your music global. That's true. Working with an artist from another country just doesn't just broaden your perspective, it can broaden your international reach in a big way. In fact, almost 80% of stream on international collaboration come from outside of the main artist's country versus under 60% for single artist tracks. New fans come from far and wide to find you. While you might think that most new fans come from nearby, our data tells us a very different story. On average, 66% of new artist discovery happen outside an artist's home country. And once they find you, they engage like crazy. Fans know that great music can come from anywhere. That's true. Fandom is borderless. Yup, internet on average. Global listeners stream artists from 14 different countries every month. For listeners in Europe, that number jumps to 16 countries per month. fans put a world of artists on the chart. Between 2017 and 2021, the share of tracks on Spotify Global Weekly Top Song chart from outside North America and Europe more than doubled. Okay, the share of tracks on Spotify Global Weekly Top Song chart from outside North America and Europe more than doubled. Okay. Want more super listeners? Europe is packed with them. Interesting. What you mean? Based on behavior as super listeners of at least one artist across Spotify top 50 markets, as of June 2025, include artists with over 10,000 monthly listeners at any point in 2024 and at least 10 tracks as of January 2025. Interesting. I would use all this to strategize my release of music differently. If you understand that whenever you release something, you must have your catalog ready to stream. Like, I was talking to a DJ friend and I was telling him, bro, you have 5 different profiles on Spotify. You have your official one with your name, and then you have other releases that you did where your name were not spelled right, other than before you change your name to a simple thing. Some you had DJ in front, some you have DJ wrote DJ, some you have DEEJAY, some you have just your name, some you have. And I was like, yo, you have to make sure that all this is concentrated under one profile, so that when you release a song and somebody likes that song, usually what they do is they go to your profile to see what else you have. If you go to my Spotify profile, I have a ton of stuff to listen to. So yeah, you should listen to this. You should check that. Listen, do I have the link? Let me put the link in. I'll put the link in the chat for you guys to watch if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, I'll put it in the description. All right. Now, let me go to the next subject. If you're still good in the chat, put some fire in the chat. All right, I received an email and I would like to talk about it. Let me see. I need to check the email that I received because I think it's very interesting. All right, let me see if I can go to their blog. Where is it? Job investigation. Fact that a legal notice helps enter jobs, terms of use, account, media center. Is it there? Okay. Newsroom. That's what I'm looking for. But I received an email. But I want to see if they put it in their newsroom as well. All right. Ooh, that's longer than the email that I received. Anyway, let me see the key points. All right. Netflix is set to acquire Warner Bros. Following the separation of Discovery Global for a total enterprise value of $82 billion. Transaction unites Warner Bros. Iconic franchises and storied libraries with Netflix leading entertainment service, creating an extraordinary offering for consumers. Netflix to maintain Warner Bros. Current operations. Combination will offer more choices and greater value for consumers, create more opportunities for the creative community, and generate shareholder values. Do I still have my Netflix shares? So Netflix today and Warner Bros. Announced they entered into a definitive agreement under which Netflix will acquire Warner Bros., including its film and television studios, HBO Max and HBO. Wow. The acquisition brings together two pioneering entertainment businesses, combining Netflix innovation, global reach, and best-in-class streaming services with Warner Bros. Century-long legacy of world-class storytelling, beloved franchises, shows, and movies such as The Big Bang Theory, The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, The Wizard of Oz, the DC Universe will join Netflix's extensive portfolio, including Wednesday, Money Heist, Bridgerton, etc., etc. Our mission has always been to entertain the world, said Ted Sarandos, the co-CEO of Netflix. By combining Warner Bros.' incredible library of shows and movies, from timeless classics like Casablanca and Citizen Kane, modern favorites like Harry Potter and Friends. Oh, Friends too? Wow. With our culture-defining titles like Stranger Things, K-pop Demon Hunters, and Squid Game, we'll be able to do that even better. Together, we can give audience more of what they love and help define the next century of storytelling. The acquisition will improve our offering and blah, 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 blah. All right. I want to know what changes. No, they don't say now. Okay. All right, cool. Listen. In my opinion, I probably told you this story before, right? But I was sitting with a friend of mine that is a journalist. He's a movie journalist. Another friend of mine who did the music video for On Dit Quoi, and a friend of theirs that was an actor that I didn't know. And this conversation was around 2004. Yeah, something like that. So 20 years ago. And we were having a conversation about the future of cinemas in the age of the internet in 2004, right? And I was telling them, in my opinion, when everybody in a certain country has a internet connection. Listen, in 2004, we don't even have iPhones. We don't even have 2G or 3G. We're still in 2G. All right? And I was telling these guys, hey, from what I can see, if in 2000, let's say in 10, I was telling them, maybe in 10 years, 20 years, which is today, if the internet keeps going faster and the size of the TV screen keeps getting bigger, and let's say you can have an internet connection where you can download a movie in 5 minutes, then the internet will kill the cinema business. because people will prefer watching movies from home rather than leaving their house to go to the movies. And all of them started yelling, "No, it's not possible." And they were explaining to me that there is an experience about going to the movies that the internet cannot change. And I was telling them, stop thinking that I'm the enemy. I'm just explaining to you what disruption will do, because in 2004, I was seeing the disruption that the internet was doing to the music business, which is my business. And I was telling them, it always starts with us, the audio people, and then it continues to you, the video people. And they were telling me it's not the same thing, because that's always what they tell you. It's not the same thing. There's an emotion about the thing, and blah, 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 blah. And the music file is small, the video file is big. And I was telling them, listen, for now, putting a song as an MP3 and sharing it on the internet will take you 2 minutes to share in 2004. But if the internet becomes 10 times faster, and the size of the drives become bigger and smaller in size with bigger information inside, and the internet goes 10, 20, 30 times faster, then maybe instead of taking 2 minutes to share an MP3, it will take 20 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. And if now it takes 3 hours, 4 hours to download a movie, if one day it takes 5 minutes and TVs are big at home, then it's game over. And all of them, they didn't want to know nothing. All right, cool. In 20... I don't know when. Let me see. Let me ask. When did Netflix go from renting DVDs to streaming? 2007. All right. So you have to understand what was Netflix business and what Netflix business became. In 1998, Netflix was doing DVD by mail rental service, which means in Netflix, you had to go to the website to rent a DVD, and then you would receive it by mail at home, and you could watch it as long as you want, and then you had to give it back. And if you were part of Netflix, you had access to this. And this killed the video clubs where you would go, and that's what I used to do back then when I used to live in Belgium with my baby mom. All right. 9 years later, in 2007, the same year where the iPhone was launched and the internet was starting to become big and starting to be part of every household, well, it was already in France actually, the streaming service started, and it had some movies and shows for subscribers. And I remember when they announced that they were going streaming, everybody was pissed at them. 2010, they said, hey, we now have more streaming than DVD rentals. And then they started doing their own content. With the first one was Lilyhammer, the second one was House of Cards. And then it became the Netflix of today, right? And in 2023, right? I was here in this house. I've been in this house for 3 years now. This is my 3rd year. One day I arrived home, and my wife told me that her sister and her sister-in-law were coming home. So they came. They told me, she told me, my sister and her kids, and my sister-in-law and her kids, they all coming home, and we're gonna watch a movie. So me, I'm like, okay, cool, interesting. Well, so when I get home, I thought I would find nobody. So when I got in this new place, I bought a big 85-inch TV for the living room, and a brand new sofa that is huge. When I arrived home, I thought I would not find them because they were at the movies. And I was hearing a lot of noise. So I enter, I see the kids in the living room, and I see the 3 sisters on the sofa. And I'm like, what's going on? And they were like, oh, we're about to watch the movie. I said, on TV? And they were like, yeah. And I said, I thought it just came out on in the movies. And they told me, yeah, it came out like a few weeks or a month ago in the movie theater, but it's already on Disney Plus. I was like, huh? Okay. And I'm like, so what you waiting for? And they told me, we ordered popcorns, nachos, candies for the kids, and milkshakes from the cinema on Uber Eats. I was like, oh. And then the Uber Eats arrives. Boom, the Uber Eats. They come up. They get the big popcorn bags from NOS Cinema here in Portugal. And they all sat down in front of the kids were downstairs on the floor because they're small, and they were all there watching from the floor on a little mattress, whatever. And the women were on the sofas, and they turned down the electric blinds. They start the streaming of the cartoon, and they turn off the lights, and they told me to go live my life here in my office. And I was like, listen, I was looking at that, and I was remembering that day when I was arguing with those guys about, in some years, this is how people will watch movies. And do people still go to the movies? Yes. To see a blockbuster, or maybe when you wanna court a girl, you take her to the movies. Like, I'm not saying the experience doesn't exist anymore. But if you talk about me, for example, in my living room, I have an 85. In my bedroom, I have a 65. Here in my office, I have a 75. I might replace my 85 soon with a 100 in the living room, and take the 85 and put it in my bedroom. So at a point when I have a 100 and I can have popcorns at home, me and my wife, we used to go to the movies all the time when we were younger and we had no kids. Sometimes I would look at her at like 11:40 or 11:50. I was like, yo, listen, there's a movie at midnight. You want to go? Yeah, let's go. We would just put a jogging quick, then walk or take a bike all to the shopping center, which is like 5 minutes away from our home, and go watch a movie at midnight. And now, and back then there was no Netflix in Portugal yet. And you have to imagine all the numbers of things that didn't exist in 2004 when I told these people this prediction. I told them, listen, one day people will watch movies on the internet from their homes in screens that will be big enough to create almost a cinema experience, and maybe people will have surround sound in their homes, and they will stream it from services that don't even exist yet. Because we're in 2025 now. You have, when I was having this conversation with these people in 2004, there was no Netflix. There was no Netflix streaming service, Disney Plus, all these, HBO, whatever. There was no TV that was flat and big, 85. There was no Uber Eats to order food from home, and there was no iPhones, smartphones to use, and there was no 5G, because you can watch the movie on your phone as well now. So, but this, and it's funny because I was having a conversation with the same journalist a few days ago, and he kept telling me, yeah, but cinema is not dead. And I said, I never said cinema would be dead. I'm just telling you that the way people consume content can change, because that's how the world goes. The world is just moving parts, and anything that is a habit can be disrupted, and you can never forget that. And if you are Netflix today, you are a platform that, how can I say it? In terms of the content they create great content. I watch a lot of Netflix. Actually, it's my second streaming service that I watch the most, the first being YouTube. But for some reason, they have never been considered, even if they did some great series like Squid Games or Stranger Things, or there's a few nice stuff in there. But they never been considered as a serious studio or content creator, if I can say it like this, compared to Warner Bros, Disney, and all these different platforms. Netflix, it's more like, series and people, like, not like not like HBO. HBO, they have Game of Thrones, like, Warner's, they have like series like Friends. HBO, they have Breaking Bad. They have The Big Bang Theory. They have like so much content, like serious content. I mean, in terms of quality and etc. So if they buy, and now it is what they did, the fact that they buy Warner Bros., it now gives them access to content that they can give all their subscribers, like a crazy back catalog. Maybe not right now, but when the deal is in place and the regulator, and if the regulators accept it, now Netflix can be seen as a serious platform, the same way as, when Disney Plus arrived, they had no new content, but they had a lot of thanks BD Records. They didn't have a lot of content, but they had a great back catalog of all the Disney movies, the Star Wars movies, the Marvel franchises, and all the catalog of movies. And now Netflix is there when they have their new stuff, like Stranger Things, House of Cards, etc., Bridgerton, and whatever. And now they also have an amazing back catalog. So at a point, they will merge the Netflix catalog with the HBO catalog, and it's gonna be crazy. And listen, well done, Netflix. I gotta say that. Listen. Some things I say in 2004. The things I told people. 20 years later, when you see it come to friction, where we're in this age now, where back in the days, the only place to see a movie was the movies. Now you can stream everything. And this just changed the habits of the next generation. And it's very, very interesting to see. But yeah, interesting. What do you think? Anyway, it is what it is. I don't know if I want to talk about the DD doc before I go. How long have I been? An hour? Okay, I can do half an hour on the DD documentary. So, yeah, speaking of Netflix, listen, the DD documentary, what does this thing say? Yeah. The DD documentary is very interesting because at a point after the whole suit was over, I really believe that the whole DD conversation was over for people. You know, like it kept trending, and then once we had a verdict and we understood that he was staying in jail for another, 40 months, I think people would just go on with their lives, and yeah, he'll be out in, 3 years, 2 years, whatever, how it works. And I've kind of felt like the 50 Cent documentary was kind of not needed anymore, because for a lot of people, it would have made more impact before the verdict. The fact that it comes a few months later, even like, I don't even remember when was the verdict. And sorry, let me see what you said. Honestly, I used to go to the movies for the Dolby experience. Now that I have a big 4K TV, home cinema system, and a good headphones that can support Dolby Atmos, I don't feel that I need to go out. Exactly. I believe that you go out, maybe if you want to go with some people, like meet some friends and go to the movies together. Or yeah, back when I was single and it was part of the getting girls, like you take her to the movies, then to the restaurant, and then DVDs at home. But now, yeah, all this is Netflix and chill, and on Netflix you have everything. And listen, when I look at the size of my 85-inch, I'm like, yo, that thing is big. And yeah. All right, back to the DD thing. I didn't think that the documentary, first of all, would have such an impact on the conversation, positive and negative, that it would steer up, the whole conversation like it's doing. I didn't think so. And listen, I didn't even think that I would enjoy watching it. And you know what? I loved it. It's actually a great documentary. Even if it's a hit piece, a little bit because it's funded, or it is who's like, it's you up that is part of it. But it's actually a very well made documentary. Like, I really thought that it would be way more, how can I say? Way more, I don't know in English, à charge, like we say in French. I thought it would be more against him and really biased. But actually, he was more, all right, here's the story of this guy, and here are all the skeletons he has in his closet and all the things all the trail of drama that is around him. And listen, as I was watching it, I'm a child of the 90s. Like, I grew up really, so in 2000 and in 94, I was 20. And this was really like the moment where, the explosion of, Bad Boy, Death Row, the East versus West, or the et cetera, et cetera. And I've heard the rumors forever, but I was not really that interested in it because so listen, we were really fans of New York hip hop, R&B in general, and listen, just the concept of the record labels like Diddy, the remixes, etc., like a lot of the things I did in my career in the beginning was inspired by the Dr. Dre movement and the Diddy and Bad Boy and etc. People used even to call me the African Puff Daddy back in the days. So I cannot pretend that I was not a fan of these people, because these people are legends. Whatever darkness is around all these people, because I believe it's the industry as a whole. But I still, back then those people were legends, and we were all inspired by them and the success and etc. and all the stuff. And then I went to my own business, and I moved to more the Afro-Caribbean market, Zouk, Kizomba, Coupe Décalé, etc. And I'm not gonna say that I moved away from hip hop and R&B, because I always loved it, and with house music as well. But I was more concentrated in what I was doing, and not obsessed like back in the days when I was obsessed with R&B, buying everything that was coming out, etc. Because now I was becoming a creator myself, and it changed a little bit my interest in all these things. So sometimes I would hear stuff, but I was not like, and then when you get in your 30s, you have your own businesses to run, etc. But as I was watching the documentaries, and when I watch these documentaries, I don't take what is said as objective truth and definitive truth. Because if I take 20 people that have a problem with you or had a problem with you, and I put them all in camera and I ask them to tell their stories, I can paint any negative narrative and show a lot of news feed and new stories of things that happened back in the days, and then have people interpret how it happened without really accusing, but saying, oh yeah, of course he has something to do with it because he said, hey, go here, and then the guy went there and he died. Yeah, but does it mean that he sent him into? You see what I mean? It's kind of. But I'm able to watch a documentary and understand that. So I'm not here to. And I don't come here as a. Which is something as I don't like about some people, and I have some friends that do this. I don't like when people watch something but they already cannot go against their own bias. I like when you're able to watch something about somebody that you like or don't like, but still try to watch the thing with an open mind. At least that's the way I watch things. So as I was watching it, first of all, there's a lot of things that I didn't know. I didn't even know about the co-founder. I never heard about his stories. I heard about the thing in the basketball place when some people died, rest in peace. But it's not something that I was familiar of how it happened. I could hear it, but when we were in our 20s, we don't really care about all this. We only cared about the music. We heard some things, some rumors and stuff, especially I was in New York back then. So I heard some stuff from friends in New York, but I was not really, to me, it was like, yo, these guys are legends. And as people who were aspiring musicians, aspiring future superstars, we were just more obsessed with the creative vision and how we could adapt to our own universe. So when I watched it, I was like, wow. I learned a lot of crazy things, and I don't know what is true, what is not, because it's actually more témoignage from people who've been around those people, and a lot of people are scorned. So listen, if you call 20 of my exes, I don't have 20, I have 5. Anyway, if you call, let's say I had 20 exes. If you call 20 of my exes and you only call people who had a bad experience, you can use that to paint me as whatever. Now, if you call people who had a great experience, had a great time, and ended everything peacefully, and that I'm still talking to, and we like homies now, then you can paint the whole thing completely differently. So I understand that a lot of people believe that 50 Cent comes here with a bias. But at the same time, I mean, he's in television now, and that's actually a great subject to talk about. Not as a rapper, not as a street dude, but as a TV exec. Yeah. That's a successful doc that you can sell and make money from to Netflix. And I think that Alexandria Stapleton did a great job actually putting together the storyline of the documentary with all the footage and stuff. Like, I think it was really well done. And I watched the whole thing in 2 days, this weekend actually. And I was entertained. I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is nice. And a lot of things personally, I don't have an emotional attachment to either Puff or Biggie or Tupac or Suge Knight or back when I was younger, yeah, I was more a New York hip hop guy, Pete Rock, Seal, Smooth, Naughty by Nature, etc. Gangstar, whatever. But I also loved Doggy Style, The Chronic, etc. Even if I was more New York hip hop and Public Enemy, etc. But I don't. It's like it's not my team. I'm team Sushi Row. I'm not team all these people. So I can watch something that is favorable and watch something that is défavorable and still make my own mind. When I see a lot of people jumping around everywhere, I have even friends calling me, telling me, yeah, I didn't watch it. I'm not going to watch it, but fuck that. Everything is false in there. I was like, how you know you didn't watch it? And people are just emotional about it. And I'm like, why are you so emotional? It's not a documentary about you or your life. It's a documentary about the rise and fall of an American icon. And somebody who's been able to rise, fall, rise even better, then fall again, then rise even better, then fall again, then rise even better, and right now has fallen again. And knowing the love of American for the redemption arc, when he comes out of jail, he's gonna change his name and he might rise again because that's what he's been doing this whole time. And it reminded me of a bunch of narcissistic perverts that I met in the music business and in politics. Don't forget, I grew up around politicians in Africa and in Europe, and business and money in Europe. And trust me, you don't need millions of dollars to be corrupted by fame and money. You don't need millions of dollars. You just need to make $2,000 every week. I'm talking to you with certainty because I've seen it. I've seen people who were making nothing make the right song with us, be promoted the right way by us, be sent to the West Indies for 3 months where people would discover them. We put them in interviews and they are very humble and they say they will never betray us and etc, etc, etc. And then we take them with us on tour. They open for us for a full 2 months, and then girls are starting to like them. And then one night after a show, there's one girl that comes out of nowhere. She's gorgeous, and she comes and she says, I like you, and I want you to take me to your hotel. And the guy is like, oh, he's happy. And then you just need to, and then the worst part is not only you're going to have some good time with the lady that is beautiful that you just met, but you also getting paid to spend that good time, do the show, etc. And you just watch them. First show, second show, and then after 6 months, you come back. They have like 1 show every week or 2 shows every week or sometimes 3. And now everywhere they go, there's like 500 women that yell their name, they love it, the album is out, they love the songs, and then you look at them getting corrupted. I've seen it through my own eyes. I see them sometimes change, sometimes reveal their true nature. From now they have power, now they have the lights, the spotlight is on them, and then they start speaking different. And that they start showing. Most of the time now, I see them before even the fame, I know how they're gonna get. But there's a lot of tricky ones you don't realize until their true self reveals itself. Because sometimes you cannot be your true self because you don't have the money, you don't have the girls. Now all of a sudden you have the money, you have the girls, you're traveling, and now you believe that you are traveling for the girls or you are traveling for the money. When I thought you were here for the art. And I'm not judging. Some of them I'm judging. But I'm not judging because my definition of success doesn't have to be your definition of success. But trust me, my definition of corruption, is the same for everyone. I've seen people that I've known as a kid. Now they are in power in Congo. And they are completely corrupted. Why? Too much power. Too much unchecked power. And when you can do everything, and you can spend all the money you want on the things you want, you become corrupted. That's it. It's simple as that. And even when you are in like a democracy, like France, for example, it doesn't mean that having money will not corrupt you. So now, if you look at the story of Diddy, through the eyes of those people that scorn people. All right. But when you look at the documentary, you can start forming your idea about, this guy is a narcissistic pervert. And he's narcissistic. Because in the end, he feels like it's all about him. But at the same time, this doesn't mean that this guy is not a staple of Black American culture and entertainment. He is. He changed the game and he inspired a lot of us. One doesn't mean the other is not true. And me, that was my take from watching this. I was like, this guy reminds me of some people. Listen, in the Zouk, Kizomba, hip-hop, R&B game in France and in Portugal, I've seen a few of those. If they had the same power as Diddy, they would exactly go the same route. Exactly. All what's missing is multiply the money by 100. They had a few, maybe they made a few 100,000. Multiply these by 100. Those people would go nuts the same way and do the same crazy things because I've seen them do it in a microcosm. I've seen this. And I know people love to judge. And that's what's been happening since this doc came out. Everybody is in the judgment thing, and now everybody's talking again about Tupac, Biggie. How he did this, I know that. When listen, there's been until now no way to verified, and there's been no thing that the justice did and where he's been charged for that. So the internet will internet. But me, what I took from it is really this. people who come from very, very humble beginnings. And it's something that I cannot relate to because I don't come from poor. I come from rich. So coming from rich, you don't have the same thing with money. You don't have the same thing with fame. You don't have the same thing with all these things, even traveling. A friend of mine did an interview and she said that she discovered a lot of the world because she became famous. And that's when she realized a lot of the things she thought were true were actually not true. And me, when I was 6 months, I was in China on the Great Wall. And then a month later, I was in New York doing my first step. And then I was here and then I was there. And then like I've been held by presidents like Chinese, Deng Xiaoping. I think it was Deng Xiaoping. I'm not sure if it was him or the one after him. But back when my dad was going on diplomatic missions, I was there already. And every holiday, I would go to Disney World. So when I got my own money, I was more happy that my parents were proud of me for making my own money. And I didn't have any revenge on the world or on women or whatever, because I already had no problem with dating. Now, take the same success story like mine, but you put it in the life of guys like 50, Diddy, Drake, Snoop, people who come from in a country that is different. Like in Congo, a black man succeeding is nothing special because we're all black out there. So when a black guy becomes president, we don't do all the fuss that people do when Obama got elected, because we've seen black men president like our whole life. Mobutu, Tshisekedi, Kabila, yeah, they're black. Omar Bongo in Gabon, this there, those one there. For African people, black presidents is nothing special. In the US, in a place that is racially charged, that has the history it has, where all these people feel like they are the victims of an environment and a system that works against them, their success stories are revenges. And coming from where they come from, in the culture where they are, where money is everything, where women are more it could give you anything for money, the possibility to be snatched by demons is very, very high. And their minds are not ready for that. I'm not giving excuses to those people. I'm just explaining how in the US, it is way more complicated it is easier to succumb, especially where the success you can have when you are those people, it's $1 million, $10 million, $100 million. Like, it's a market that is huge. There's a lot of money to be made when you make money. If you are a flawed individual, this destroys your mind quick. And you start doing flawed things, and now you are crazy with power. Unlimited money, power, respect. And that's what I took from this documentary. I know a lot of people from here, Zouk Kizomba, the same amount of money, even 10%, or even a 1% of that money, oh, those people would have gone mad, evil. They would have done all the same things. It's just that they were not in the right market. And that's how I watched this documentary. I was like, wow, the psychology of this guy. Whoa. Listen, I don't know what is true, what is not true. There's a lot of things that we heard. There's a lot of things that are factual. And there's a lot of things where it's interpretation of people who have something against him. And as I was watching it, I was just thinking, listen, even 50% of what is said here is true, that's crazy. It is what it is. Some people like and 50 Cent are mad because the trial failed to make the public hate and cancel Diddy. Listen, this is the US. In the US, you cannot cancel people for real. And listen, people like Diddy, they are loved by some people and hated by other people. And Americans, they are Protestants. They love the redemption arc. Listen, it just comes out of here, and you can play the namaste card, you can play the religion card, you can play the Trump card. Listen, you can play so many cards, and has enough money to also do a good PR campaign. Some people have been thinking about it for him for a long time. He has like teams of people who are thinking of what you're going to do when you come out of it. Listen, look at Russell Simmons. A few accusations of back when he was a libertin. What he did, flew to where is it? Indonesia, flew to Bali, removed his shoes, and now he's playing the namaste card. And yeah, then things pass. You're gonna have, even after the Cassie video, yeah, a lot of people hate him for that. But there's a lot of people who did the same thing in the US, and people still love them today. They hated them for a few years, and then, yeah, listen, I was young, I was on drugs, Yeah, listen, you do the redemption, you wait, and then at a point you come back. People move on quick, especially in the age of information. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Thanks, BD Records. Yeah, listen. It's not just mainstream hip hop. It's the music industry. Listen, I know the French rap industry, the R&B French industry, a little bit of the hip hop industry in the US. I worked with some top people there when I was in the US. The Portuguese, Angola, Cape Verde, Kizomba market, the Zouk market. All of it is evil, not because of the market itself. All of it is evil because of humans and the weakness of humans. Humans have ego, humans have flaws, humans have greed, humans have envy. The 7 capital sins, we all carry them. Some people just cannot do them because they don't have the power, the money, the courage, the XYZ to do it. Now, if you go to a city, in our small Zouk market, imagine every weekend you go to 2 cities. just in France. And every time you go, all the girls are yelling your name, they love you, etc., etc. And after every show, you can get anyone you want. You just need, sometimes you don't even need to ask. Like, we've lived it. You can go, I want to go with you. Oh, we all want to go. Hey, listen, it's 4 of you. We are 4. Like, who wants who? Let's have a breakfast. Listen, we live this 1,000 times in 1,000 cities. Then it's just up to you to say, I'm interested, I'm not interested. If you say you're interested, there you go. Now you have the possibility to be corrupted or not. You can just say, okay, yes, this time. Or you can say, no, oh, let me keep your number. And maybe when you come to Paris, we can meet each other, know each other, go to the movies, go to the restaurant, whatever. Or you can just be like, oh yeah. And tomorrow I'm doing the same thing. And next Friday, I'm doing the same thing. Oh, and by the way, next Saturday, I'm going to Portugal. I'm doing the same thing. Then I'm going to Angola. I'm doing the same thing. Mozambique. And then you can just amass. And then all of a sudden, you want more because now it's just part of your whole business. Plus, there's money. Plus, there's fame. Plus, it's filled with jealousy. Because some people are not interested in their own success. They're interested in yours. And they're like, why they like him more than me? Why they yelling for him more than me? Why does he start? Why is he the last to sing? Why him and Kaysha on dit quoi? Why not me and whatever my song is? Jealousy, humans. And I'm just talking about the Zouk market, which is nothing compared to the American market. But still, we were generating millions of euros still back in the early 2000s. Every year we were generating millions of euros in CD sales, because if you would sell 1 CD, you would get 10. So if you would sell small sales, listen, 40,000 Sumia, 20,000 Elisio, plus 40,000 Kaysha, that's 100,000 copies. That's €1 million just from me, one label. Now add the rest, add some Princess Lover, some Lila Chico, some here and there. Boom, all of a sudden have 3-4 million euros made in 1 year. Then we go to the West Indies, and then we go perform, and then everywhere you go, yeah, you have groupies. And then it's up to each other to decide what the type of life they want to live. And now me, I'm not here for that. And then the others are looking at you like, oh, you're suspicious. What you mean you don't want? Yeah, no. Oh, I got my girl. Yeah, we us too. And then it's the fight between being righteous or being and your value, the fight between your values and the possibilities, because it's free. And it's here and it's easy. It's not even like you don't have to talk. You just say which one you want and we go. And I've seen a lot of people be like, I'm going. So if some people can go like, and now if you have people like me who grew up with money, who grew up with no starving, who grew up with no, yeah, I mean, listen, a great childhood. You might not be easy to fool by some of those things, but you might be easy to fool by others. But if you take some people that, listen, had no chicks, no money, and were not famous, bro, it's so easy to see them just get corrupted. it's easy to get corrupted because humans are corruptible by essence. And yeah, you just see it. So trust me, the music industry, it's people really don't see it, but it's a trap. It's a trap because what it does to your mental health, especially when you are one hit wonder and you do that one song, people love you for 1 year and then they forget you. All the girls, they like you, they want to be with you for a year, and all of a sudden nobody is interested. The clubs, they invite you for free everywhere, and then all of a sudden after 1 year, they don't know who you are. This is not normal for any normal person. Like, if you didn't live it, you cannot understand. And it's easy to judge all these people, but you have to go in their shoes to understand what it does to your mental health, to the human mind. Like, nobody's designed for that. Nobody's designed to receive love from all these people. And yeah, some people, they just go crazy. And if you come from craziness like the 50s, the DDs, all these people in the US, they all come from craziness. They come from the ghetto, they come from the killings, their parents, all of them. The fathers are all dead. So they're not normal people already. They come from the mud, the struggle. And all of a sudden, they can have all the chicks, all the money, and they can live in Manhattan, and they can talk to the people who's supposed to be the system that hate them. Yeah, of course you go crazy. Of course you go crazy. Because not everybody's mind is ready for that. And then the system, if they go up too far, the system shoot them and spits them back. And all of a sudden, yeah, videotapes of you and Cassie that for 10 years was nowhere, all of a sudden appears on CNN. And you think this is normal? No, they were waiting for you to do a mistake, or you to say, oh, I'm going to do a party, or you to just think that you're better than the system. Then the system is like, oh yeah? Bam! Go to jail a bit, sit a few years, then come back, say sorry. It is what it is. Listen, it is what is. This show is brought to you by Shada. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Club Shada. Don't forget that you can watch the whole replay on Kaysha.tv. Thanks to our main sponsor, Daniel Chim, and all our sponsors, Gods of Good Fortune. You know how we do. And don't forget, if you want to know news, whenever I post new music, whenever I release video, whenever I'm live, go to whatsapp.kaysha.com and subscribe. Join my WhatsApp channel. That's the place where you get a little bit of Kaysha delivered every day. I post stuff there all the time. So be part of the WhatsApp family. All right, people. For those who speak French, I'll be live Wednesday. I'll be live in TikTok for Internet du Village Wednesday. And we'll probably talk about the same thing, but in French. Among other things. We'll talk Didi. We'll go more maybe. We'll see. We'll have conversation between each other, TikTok craziness. All right. Anyway, I hope you loved it. And I'm going to leave you. What is the song that I played? Yeah, there we go. I'm going to leave you with a song by Marua Luz, which is a Sushi Raw digital artist. I'm going to leave you with this song called Akura Está en mí. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, put some bombs in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, it's always a pleasure to see you. I'm Kaysha. See you in the next episode of Club Shada. All right, peace.
sorriso que vem, raiz que cresce e renasço também. No toque do som me liberto de vez. O amor é o fogo que me refaz outra vez. Sou terra, sou lua, sou mar.